What's cooking, Bianconeri? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. Today we are post-Torino match. Juventus gets another win on the road. Technically, you're in Turin, but on the road at Torino, winning the Derby Della Mole. A great win to lead into the international break, a 1-0 victory, thanks to Manuel Locatelli's goal at the end to save it. What it means is it means a lot. Juventus moves up in the table and hopefully continues their clawing back in to reach the top four, maybe even continue to hopefully dream to compete for that top spot once again. We'll see how they do it. Let's stick with us. We'll do the player ratings now. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back. You're in the Bianconeri Zone. My name is Justin Sofro. Today is October 2nd, 2021, and it is post-match of Torino, Juventus. Juventus defeating Torino on the road at the Derby Della Mole against them. 1-0 thanks to Manuel Locatelli. I know I already said this stuff. Just exciting. Glad to win those 3 points again. I was worried a little bit about you had Morata out, you had Dybala, all the stuff that went along with it. And for a long time during that match, it felt like, oh no, are they regressing to the mean again? After I'd say a high, reaching that high again. I don't know what I was trying to get out there. Basically having that high feeling coming off of a win over the defending European champs in Chelsea, but they come back, get 3 points, the most necessary 3 points going into the break. Right now, as it stands, I think they are tied for, I want to say, let me pull it back up real quick. I have it right here in front of me. They're in 8th place. They're really tied for 6th with Lazio and Atalanta. Well, you have the goal differentials, and then also they have a game in hand as it stands right now. So really, you're safely in 8th place. Still have a chance for them to drop points going in the future, and then you still have those teams to play going forward. So you're telling me there's still a possibility. There's still a possibility. Let's go ahead and just jump into it. But before we do that, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. Join our community and what we're doing here. We're excited to have you guys along for the journey. Let's just jump into it. The very first player I have that's rated is Mr. Wojciech Szczesny. I gave him a 7, maybe a little bit high, maybe compared to what some people would say. Sorry again, guys. Still coming off a high, energized. Everything that's coming off of this, and then a lot going on today for me personally. But anyway, I gave him a 7 just because this is the first time in 21 matches that our boy has kept a clean sheet for Juventus. Good to see him finally shake that rust off a little bit, get back in there, getting a clean sheet. He had 2 saves, 1 punch, 1 successful run out. He had 10 accurate long balls, 1 clearance, and 3 out of 3 aerial duels won. Just a great performance overall from Wojciech Szczesny. Hopefully he's starting to get that mojo back, especially if we don't have Donnarumma, which we don't. And then hopefully he can get some of that energy back of what he needed to prove that, hey guys, I'm the guy, not Padin right now. Trust me. Hopefully we can stick through this. We'll find out if he's really up to the task going forward. Let's move on. We got Danilo. Just honestly a great defensive performance overall from our defenders at Juventus. I gave him a 6.5. You maybe could go a little bit more generous. I just think a 6.5 is fair for what I expect from Juventus, especially throughout that match. So it was good for him and good for the squad overall, holding Torino scoreless to a clean sheet, as well as joining Szczesny in that attempt. He had 2 clearances, he had 2 interceptions, 2 tackles, he had 2 ground duels won, 4 aerial duels won. He did lose possession 13 times though, and he had 1 key pass, 8 accurate long balls as well. So a solid performance overall from our guy Danilo. And let's move on. I think this was our best defensive performer, and that was Matthias Delix. It's so good to see him out there getting the time that he needs. I know it's difficult, though, because I also love the other 2 guys. I love Chiellini. I love Bonucci. I'm an Italian shill, but I love Delix and what he's bringing to the defense. The 3 of them work really well together. Now I'm starting to see that clicking a little bit, where you're seeing all 3 of them work. No matter how you pair them up, they're starting to work well together. He had 3 clearances, 1 interception, 2 tackles, 4 ground duels won, 4 aerial duels won. He had 1 key pass, 4 accurate long balls, 1 big chance created. Just overall a good performance from my guy. I really was excited with what I saw from Matthias Delix. Hopefully he keeps it up, and hopefully the team can continue to grow on what they have performed today. Let's keep it going, though, guys. We got Chiellini. I gave him a 6.5. Again, I understand you can go a little bit higher, but I think overall the defense did really well. I think a 6.5 is a good score. He had 5 clearances, 1 block shot, 2 ground duels won, 5 aerial duels won. But where I knocked him was he did lose possession 18 times. It's just rough anytime you do that. But overall, I mean, it's Chiellini. Chiellini does Chiellini things. And yeah, I love my boy Chiellio. He had 1 key pass. He had 4 accurate long balls and 1 successful dribble attempt. So overall, solid performance from Chiellini, solid performance from the defense. He also got a yellow card during the match as well. Just keep that for your tally moving forward. So once those start becoming a problem for Juventus, you'll know where it happened. Now we can move on to Alexandro. Alexandro, since he has returned, honestly, since Allegri came back, especially the last few matches, though, he has looked like 2017 Alexandro. Even in his poor performances, he performed really well, so I was really happy to see what I saw from Alexandro. I gave him a 6.5. He had 3 clearances, 2 interceptions, 1 tackle, 6 ground duels, 1, 2 aerial duels, 1. He lost possession 13 times, so it's a mid-range one overall for me, but it's what happens when you're in defense. He has 1 accurate cross, 2 accurate long balls, 1 shot on target, and 1 successful dribble, and 1 big chance miss. So overall, not too bad of a stat sheet for him in a victory for Juventus. Now we move to the midfield, the much maligned midfield, and then we move to Bernardeschi. I gave him a 5.5. By far not our worst performer of the day. That's coming. We know who it is. But overall, 5.5, Bernardeschi doing Bernardeschi things sometimes. He had 1 key pass, no accurate crosses out of the 3 attempted, no accurate long balls of the 2 attempted, 1 shot blocked, 1 successful dribble attempt, 2 ground duels, 1 aerial duel, 1, lost possession 14 times. Not enough positive to mix with that negative there with the losing possession and the stuff that he did there. Bernardeschi is Bernardeschi. He is what he is. I was kind of surprised with the lineup that they didn't keep the 4-3-3. I know it switched into a 4-3. Well, anyway, whatever it was. I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, that they had against Chelsea. But overall, it ended up working out well in the end. Bernardeschi stayed on there for a bit longer. And this guy, though, stayed on the longest that I was surprised that he did. He played for 90 full minutes, a 5 rating. I mean, my guy McKinney, my compatriot, my whatever you want to have, my American brother, what are you doing out there? Man looks lost. Man does not look like he knows what he's doing out there. I was shocked at halftime when they ended up pulling Moise Ken and putting in, Quadrado instead of pulling McKinney. I understand you'd have to rearrange some things then to end up using him, but McKinney did not look great. He had a couple moments there at the end, but he was by far the worst performance. He was not the player of the match for me. That's what I'll say. Let's see. Overall, no goals, no assists. I mean, obviously goals and assists are a lot. Let's see. 1 accurate long ball, 2 shots off target, 1 big chance missed, 1 ground duel, 1, 2 aerial duels, 1, and 2 clearances, 1 interception, 1 tackle. So, I mean, really just not a great performance overall. If you saw Weston McKennie, again, he continues to look lost. He looks lost. He doesn't know what he's doing. I don't know if he looks like a different player than he did under Andrea Pirlo. With Andrea Pirlo, he looked like a player that had a lot of potential or whatever. I don't know if the off-the-field stuff is really sinking in and affecting his play or whatever have you, but he has not looked good as of recently. Then we can go to our player of the match. So we had the least player of the match, or whatever you want to call it, not player of the match. And you have the player of the match, to me, was Manuel Locatelli. I gave him a 7.5. Thank you, Mr. Locatelli, for getting the score, the game-winning goal of the match there at the end in the final minutes. I think it was in the 84th, I think it was in the 84th minute when he scored that. Splendid performance from him. He had 1 goal. He had 62 touches, 4 accurate long balls, 1 shot on target, 1 shot off target, 1 shot blocked. He had 4 ground duels, 1, 2 aerial duels, 1, only lost possession 8 times, which is pretty fantastic for a midfielder even who's getting a lot of touches. 1 block shot, 1 interception, 1 tackle overall. Anyway, my boy got his first big win goal. Like he had his first goal, obviously previous match, excuse me, but having this goal here in a match that mattered in a derby, the game-winning derby goal had to be a huge one for him, for his family. He mentioned it. We'll talk about that a little bit tomorrow, trust me. Let's move on, though. And we got our guy Rabiot to talk about. Rabiot was a mixed bag for me overall. He had a lot of negatives going on there. But then at the end of the match, there were a lot of opportunities that he really dug deep in the defense. It was kicking balls away, was clearing them away, especially in moments when defenders like even Chiellini, Bonucci, Delix, whoever have you, weren't able to do it. He was the guy getting him out there, digging him out, and forcing Torino backwards when they could have actually had some decent chances on Szczesny then. So I got to give him a little bit of credit there. I gave him a 6 overall rating, solid rating. I feel like not too bad. He had 1 key pass. He had 2 accurate long balls, 1 successful dribble. He had 3 ground duels, 1. He lost possession 12 times. He had 3 clearances, 1 block shot, 1 interception, and 1 tackle. Again, overall, I think those clearances is really where I really gave him a lot of credit there at the end because they were important. Then we had our guy, Moise Kean. He got a 5.5. A lot of it has to do. Moise Kean didn't have a lot of opportunity out there on the pitch in the first half. He did a little bit, but honestly, I feel like I don't understand the pulling of Moise Kean. He was one of the only guys at the beginning that was really, I feel like, forcing an attack, moving the ball, doing whatever have. He still has that guy. He's injecting that killer mentality, actually making attempts out there. And they really, I don't really feel like he deserved to get pulled in that first half, after the first half. I think that was Weston McKennie who should have been pulled. That was it. He had 1 shot off target. He had 1 successful dribble, 1 big chance missed. Let's see. Only had 17 touches. He had 2 ground duels, 1, 2 aerial duels, 1. And that's about it. Didn't really have a ton that he really had to go off of. But overall, he gave him a 5.5. Really, I don't think he had a terrible performance. I just think overall it just was more he didn't have enough time to really prove it. And then our guy, Federico Chiesa, I gave him a 6.5. He played most of the game until miraculously Caio Jorge showed up from the depths, from his deathbed or whatever have you, or whatever, and now he's playing. I don't know. Again, I talked about it before. I want to dig into him more information. And nothing really came out. He just was like, oh, yeah, he's here. He's playing. But back on Chiesa, 6.5. He is the energy, the glue guy of Juventus. He always is a guy you can rely on, even in games that are not his best games. He had that 1 assist for the goal that Locatelli scored. What else did he have? 1 key pass, 1 accurate cross, 4 accurate long balls. All of those are 100% too, and his percentile of attempts to completed. He has 1 ground duel, 1. He did lose possession 15 times, but that's normal for guys in an attack position. And yeah, that was basically it for Chiesa there. So I gave him a 6.5 player rating. Now we're getting into the substitutes, and we get into our guy Juan Cuadrado, who, while I did say that I didn't understand the pulling of Juan Cuadrado, or pulling Moise Kean for Juan Cuadrado, the one thing I will say is that the substitution worked out well. Juan Cuadrado does Juan Cuadrado things. Juan you see out there creating opportunities, moving the ball downfield, whatever have you. He does a good job at it. He had 1 tackle, 5 ground duels, 1, 2 aerial duels, 1. Excuse me. He had 2 key passes, 2 accurate crosses, 1 accurate long ball, 1 big chance created, and 1 shot on target. So overall, a solid game from Juan Cuadrado. I liked what I saw from him, but I usually do. Let's be honest. Then my guy, Dejan Kulusevski. He's got so much potential, but he just always looks a little bit lost. I mean, he didn't have a lot of time. He only played 10 minutes. I gave him a 5.5 rating overall. Again, just so we're clear, I usually a 5 rating is what you get when you just walk onto the pitch. Anything you do can bring you down. Anything you do can bring you up. And that's kind of how I operate when it comes to this overall. He had 7 touches, 4 accurate passes. Not a lot to go off of. 1 shot off target. 1 hit that hit the woodwork. He had an opportunity to score there. If they would have created it, they would have linked up. Caio Jorge could have had his first assist immediately coming into the game and setting up Kulusevski. It's unfortunate it didn't work out. I talked about this recently, and I love Kulusevski. I like him. I really want him to be able to succeed at Juventus, but I haven't really seen that really take off yet. But what I will say is, for some reason, I don't know if you guys agree with me, but whenever I see Dejan Kulusevski, the one thing I can relate him to and that he really makes me think of is he reminds me of a newborn baby giraffe. You know, when you first see that baby giraffe gets born, splatted out there, and then all of a sudden it just gets up on those legs and it just doesn't really know how to use its legs. But you can tell that it's going to be a runner and it's going to be good whenever it starts doing it. That's what I think about Dejan Kulusevski. He looks like he doesn't fully know how to operate his legs properly just yet. He's still in the baby giraffe form. He needs to get into that, well, it's not a gazelle. I guess it's a bull. They still call them bulls, even though they're giraffes. But, you know, that's some stupidity for me. But there you go. That's what you get when you get me on the channel. Next up, Caio Jorge. Not really much to rate him on. I mean, he got, the 1 minute in, and then he got a little bit of the stoppage time. Not too bad. I would like to see more from him. I'm excited to see from him. The real takeaway from Caio Jorge is just that he's alive. He's alive, and he's playing for the club, and he's actually going to have a future playing for Juventus, and hopefully we'll be able to see more of him coming back, especially from the international break. Something to get excited for. New face, new energy, whatever have you. But yeah, that's my main takeaway is Kyle George is alive. And then finally, we have Maximiliano Allegri. I gave him a 6.5 overall rating. A good showing from him. Honestly, Max Allegri is starting to get his stride at Juventus again. We had those first really rocky start at Juventus, but now we have, I think, last 5 matches have been won or something like that. Really solid performance from him. No losses in a while. Those first few losses and draws really hurt us, and we're still digging ourselves out of it, but he's starting to get his groove is the one thing I can say from this, and hopefully this bodes well for Juventus' future. Once some other guys can start taking some hits as well, dropping some points, maybe Juventus can really start getting their footing and going forth, and maybe even challenging to get the Scudetto back where it belongs, right here. Just right there. But I appreciate what I saw from Maximiliano Allegri. I was excited. I didn't fully agree with some of the lineup stuff that he did, some of the substitutions, if you will. I honestly didn't really have a lot of substitutions till the end, but it was really mainly Cuadrado for Moise Kean, but I ended up being wrong. Cuadrado brought in enough energy, whatever habit that you needed there. So good on him. We got the win. That's all I can really say. That's all I really have for you. When it comes to the player ratings, let me know. What are your thoughts on the player ratings? Would you have rated anybody differently? Anybody higher? Anybody lower than what I did? Let me know in the comment section down below. Appreciate your feedback as always. Anyway, also make sure if you are you new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to that. Hit that subscribe button, smash that subscribe button, whatever you're trying to say. That's what I was trying to get at in that point. Make sure you hit that like button as well, and hit that bell icon to stay notified for all latest videos when they drop. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you follow Bianconerizone at Bianconerizone on Instagram and Twitter, myself at Justin Sofro on Twitter, and my boy Julian Genotti at Genotti151 on Twitter as well. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri. Enjoy the break, guys. We'll still be here, though.